This is a old internet list of interesting facts from several years ago, and you'll probably be able to tell how old it is when you start seeing some of the facts. And I also updated and corrected a couple of them. Alaska is more than half the coastline of the entire United States. It all says it for itself. The Amazon River pushes so much water into the Atlantic Ocean that more than 100 miles at sea off the mouth of the river, you can dip fresh water out of the ocean. The volume of water in the Amazon River is greater than the next 8 largest rivers in the world combined and 3 times the flow of all the rivers in the United States. And you see that interesting picture somebody got with the Amazon fresh water running into the Atlantic salt water. Antarctica is the only land on our planet that is not owned by any country. 90% of the world's ice covers Antarctica. The ice also represents 70% of all fresh water in the world. As strange as it sounds, however, though, Antarctica is essentially considered a desert. The average yearly total precipitation is about 2 inches. Although it's covered with ice, Antarctica is the driest place on the planet with an absolutely humidity lower than the Gobi Desert, which is really strange. Brazil, the country, got its name from the nut, not the other way around. I have no other information on that. Canada has more lakes than the rest of the world combined. Canada is an Indian word that means big village. That's just an odd fact to think about. In Chicago, next to Warsaw, Chicago has the largest population of Polish people in the world. Detroit. Woodward Avenue in Detroit, Michigan carries the unique designation of M1. It was so named because it was the first paved road anywhere. And that old photos from 1931 when there was not as many people, but I guess that's the first paved road ever. Damascus, Syria was flourishing a couple of thousand years before Rome was founded in 753 BC, making it the oldest continuously inhabited city in existence, which is remarkable. Istanbul, Turkey is the only city in the world located on 2 continents. I located kind of a nice map there that shows that on there. Los Angeles' full name, and I'm not going to get all this right, is El Pueblo de Nuestra Señora la Reina de Los Angeles de Pornicula. And it can be abbreviated to 3.63% of its size, which is just LA. New York City. The term Big Apple was coined by touring jazz musicians in the 1930s who used the slang expression apple for any town or city. Their flavor to play New York City is to play the big time, the Big Apple. Other facts: there are more Irish in New York City than in Dublin, Ireland. There are more Italians in New York City than in Rome, Italy. And there are more Jews in New York City than in Tel Aviv, Israel. Ohio has no natural lakes. Every lake it has is man-made. Pitcairn Island, I'm sure I didn't say that right, is the smallest island with a country status in Polynesia. It is at just 1.75 square miles. The first city to reach a population of 1 million people was Rome, Italy in 133 BC. There is a city called Rome on every continent except Antarctica, and that's an update I had to put in there because Antarctica doesn't have cities and it's considered a continent. Siberia contains more than 25% of the world's forests. Sovereign Military Order of Malta is actually the smallest sovereign entity in the world. It is located in the city of Rome, Italy. It has an area of about 2 tennis courts, and as of 2001 has a population of 80, which is 20 less than the Vatican. It is a sovereign entity under international law, just as the Vatican is. I tried to locate any map or diagram of it and couldn't. The Sahara Desert. There is a town called Tidikelt, Algeria, which did not receive a drop of rain for 10 years. Technically, though, the driest place on Earth is in the valleys of the Antarctic near Ross Island. There has been no rainfall there for 2 million years. I don't know how they measured. Spain literally means the land of the rabbits. St. Paul, Minnesota was originally called Pig's Eye after a man named Pierre Pig's Eye Parent who set up the first business there. They went with the better name. In roads, chances that a road is unpaved. In the USA, 1%. In Canada, 75%. This is probably varied some, but I ain't bothered to try to prove it. Russia. The deepest hole ever drilled by man was the Kola Super Deep Borehole in Russia. It reaches a depth of 12,261 meters, which is about 7.62 miles or 40,000 feet. It was drilled for scientific research and gave up some unexpected discoveries, one of which was a huge deposit of hydrogen so massive that the mud coming up from the hole was boiling with it. This hole was surpassed in 2008 by the 12,289 meter long, 40,000 feet, 7.63 miles at the Al Shinin oil well in Qatar. And they just surpassed it. So I don't know if that's what they were trying to do or if they actually had to drill that far. United States. The Eisenhower interstate system requires that 1 mile in every 5 must be straight. These straight sections are usable as airstrips in times of war or other emergencies. Waterfalls. The water of Angel Falls, the highest in the world, is in Venezuela, drops 3,212 feet or 979 meters, which is just over a half mile. They are 15 times higher than Niagara Falls. I have always said you should learn something new every day. Unfortunately, many of us are at an age when what we learn today we forget tomorrow. But give it a shot anyway. That was from the original presentation.